Behind me is a 2026 Keystone Passport 210 RKC. This is going to be in their new Passport Classic line, which is aiming to give you a more entry-level price point camper with a little bit of a step up from what you might expect from an entry-level camper. And this is a very popular floor plan that is actually almost identical to the camper that I own. So let's go take a look. Come on. Y'all, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we're here taking a look at this 2026 Keystone Passport. Again, this is the 210 RKC. I'm trying to figure out what that might stand for. I think it's like rear kitchen something. I don't know what the C stands for, but the RK has to be rear kitchen. Very similar to my camper that I own. It's a little bit shorter though, and the specs on it are going to be a little bit different. You'll be able to see the floor plan layout and the specs on the screen. Definitely going to be a good size for a half-ton truck, a modern half-ton truck. 25 feet 7 inches long. It is only 4,740 pounds with a with a 1,720 pound cargo carrying capacity. So something like this is likely going to have a tongue weight of, let me find the exact specs real quick. Hitch weight's only going to be around 570 pounds or so. Most modern half-ton trucks, they have a hitch weight of somewhere around a payload or cargo capacity of around usually around 1,000 to 1,500 pounds. So this certainly gives you plenty of wiggle room on something like that. I don't know what the payload capacities are on something like a like a Chevy Colorado, Ford Ranger, Toyota Tacoma type of truck. But this would kind of be right on the threshold of maybe what someone might attempt to tow with a truck like that. But a half-ton certainly going to be more comfortable and more suitable for something like this here. So curious your thoughts. And of course, if you're looking for your next RV, there's a link down below in the pinned comment where you can find over 100 different Blue Compass stores across the United States. And we're here to help you out when you're ready to start looking for your next RV. And across our stores, we have all kinds of different RVs of every variety that you could possibly be looking for. So that link is down below when you're ready to start shopping for your next RV. So Passport from 2025 to 2026 went to this a little bit more grayscale color scheme. They had a lot of popping colors on the outside last year, which I think was a little bit polarizing. I personally like the grayscale look a little bit more. Really like the black front cap look on here. And this is a fiberglass sided camper. It does have a metal front cap here. This is basically, almost the exact same thing as my Alliance Delta ultralight camper in terms of the outside. Although one thing that I still am not 100% certain on, but it looks like it's all wood framing in here. We're seeing wood framing underneath this portion, and with Keystone, I know whatever framing I see underneath there is usually what is in the sidewalls as well. If that was not the case in this camper, that would be the first time I've seen this as an exception. So my assumption is that it's wood framing through here, but I can't find anything on the literature online to tell me whether or not it's wood framing or aluminum framing. So I'm going to say that it's wood framing, but if I'm incorrect on that, someone please let me know, because sometimes you guys have even more information than I do, or you just catch something that I might not have caught. And right now I just don't have the right person here to ask that question. So I'm going to say it's wood framing, and unless you hear otherwise, I'm pretty sure what it is. 2 entry doors here, and as we step inside, they have this new composite step. So this is new for 2026. This is a composite material, basically kind of feels like a plastic, has pretty dang good traction on it. I think that's one of the most important things on these entry steps. And then a nice big oversized step there. Plus it sits relatively low to the ground for that first step. Then you have more of a traditional RV step for your second entry door. Kind of nice on that, because when these steps swing in and out of the door, they go up into the door frame here and block your entry into that door. So if you're ever parked really close to something but need to get into your camper, you actually don't have the ability to get this step out unless you have enough clearance to swing this thing out, which you need about 2 feet of space at least, maybe almost 3 feet. So if you're ever parked really close, that still gives you the ability to hop into this door anytime you need to, which is kind of nice to have the 2 different options there. They also have this new key to like system, so 1 key for every lock on the outside of the camper, which is very convenient. Makes it so you don't have to fumble for a bunch of different keys. And then you got your privacy shade here on the windows as we walk in, which not a lot of campers have standard and already installed. Now, as we step inside, Passport definitely has one of the more bold interior color schemes. They call this their Cedar Frost. So it kind of has like that cedar wood style finish. Pretty interesting. Definitely a little bit more of a bold take. So curious your thoughts on what you think about this interior color scheme. Very curious your opinions. And then we get this rear kitchen setup. Again, very similar to my travel trailer. If you've seen my videos with my own trailer on my page, a little different though, where like their pantry is here in the corner right when you walk in, whereas mine is on the other side of the dinette. And this is a little bit smaller than my camper, which is not always bad. Smaller a lot of times can just mean it's easier to tow, can get into more places, things are just more manageable in a smaller camper. But pretty simple and straightforward. Couple things to talk about here. We have a solid wood cabinet door, so all your cabinets that are white are a solid stained wood. See, this is all going to be through storage all the way through that space. And then down here, this is like a thermofoil style wrapped cabinetry, but basically it has the same kind of, you know, solid like nature that a solid hardwood cabinet door would have, but it's more lightweight than wood. So I really like these cabinet doors. It's about the second year we've seen these in the RV industry, and they are working really well. They're in quite a few different brands now, and I think they're holding up pretty dang good over time. Got solid wood interior drawer construction, and then staples to hold those in place. 3 drawers there. Big drawer underneath your microwave, and because there's no oven in this camper, the microwave is going to double as a convection oven and air fryer. North to south facing 2 burner gas stoves, so kind of seeing more simplistic, you know, accessories here in the kitchen or cooking items. And then we have outlet up in the corner and some hooks here to hang things. That is convenient. My camper does not have any hooks to hang things anywhere, and I can say that's kind of annoying. I've been looking for a solution for something to put in my camper to hang my keys and stuff when I walk inside, and that was annoying not having that from the get-go. So it is nice that it comes with that. Slide out and awning controls right here. AC controls right there. You have your AC in the roof. With this slide out, pretty simple, straightforward floor plan. With the slide closed, you have quick, easy, direct access to that refrigerator right when you walk in the door. And you can get to the bathroom through the bedroom door, which is why they have that second door in the bedroom, because the slide out will block that entry door to the bathroom when you are in transit with the slides closed. As we sit down here on the sofa, it is a jackknife sofa, so a little bit more of a basic kind of furniture setup. You have a what looks like a 32-inch screen TV there, and then you have a pretty standard dining table arrangement. Looks like our furnace is likely underneath that dining table, so probably no storage underneath there. You can see the furnace is being ducted up underneath this part of the dining table. But as we lift this up, cool, we do have access to that storage space. And then up over here, let's see. Yeah, that one is screwed shut, so it should be the furnace under there. This furniture here, it is like a leather style furniture material, but that textured design that you see in there, you actually do kind of feel that a bit. So it has a bit of texture to the touch, which is nice. I actually do like that. USB ports up underneath here with the USB Type A and Type C. And then we have pull down black pleated shades on the windows. Another set of hooks right here on this side. We have our storage next to the TVs. And then as we go into the bathroom, have our pass-through bathroom here. Not a whole lot of countertop space to work with, but a good amount of floor space. No individual shut-off valves on the water lines. So you have this kind of cool accent wall right here. Definitely some neat character aspects to Keystone RVs. You also get more of a design in the ceiling panel that gives it a little bit more character. Have a plastic bowl sink, got your storage space here, your shelving, and then we have liquefied. This is a black tank treatment for your RV that you can find at Blue Compass stores across the country in their parts departments. It liquefies everything that goes into your toilet in black tank, keeps your black tank fresh, smelling good, and also operating properly. And you can find it in this pod formula, also liquid formula and powder formula at Blue Compass stores across the country, as well as Walmart and Amazon. Got your medicine cabinet storage there, plastic foot flush toilet. Let's see if it has a soft close toilet seat on here. It does have a soft close toilet seat, so that's nice. Got your hooks right here, right behind that. And then we have our ceiling fan up in this area. Ceiling height in here, as you see going in and out of the bedroom, I don't have to duck to get in and out of here. Or if I'm standing like straight up, I do touch my head. So this is probably about 6'2" on the height there. With my shoes on, I stand right at about 6'2". But walking, I just kind of naturally go under it. If you're 6'3" or taller, you're probably going to find yourself having to, do a little bit more of intentional ducking going in and out of the doors. Does have a very narrow shower, so not super wide on the shower. Got a plastic shower curtain right there. Tankless water heater. Nice oversized shower head and good skylight height. So when I step into the shower, height in here is plenty adequate for me. Once you're at about 6'4", though, you're going to start having to duck in this space. The width, though, is what is interesting because it is more narrow. And if I close this shower curtain there, if I can get it to close, goodness, I might have to use my other hand. Come on, shower curtain. How do I close you? Am I doing it wrong? I've never had this type of shower curtain before. I've never messed with it that much, so I don't know if I'm doing something incorrectly. But you can see here, like, even with my slender frame, my shoulders are there's not a whole lot of wiggle room at all. So just something to be mindful of in taking your showers. You're gonna have a little bit of a feel like you're in a coffin, just a little bit. But that shower curtain is flexible, so it does, flex out if you do butt up against it. But it is a little bit of a tight feeling in that shower. Come back into the bedroom. This is going to have a shortened queen size bed. So at 6'1", my feet do hang off of this bed just a little bit. So that's something to be mindful of. Got your storage here. Kind of some bungee cord style storage there underneath the bed. And then nice, length there on the bedside tables, outlets in the corner, USB ports in the corner. And then we have our wardrobe storage. Shelving up over the top. Spot for a TV here on the wall. And then as we turn around this way, mattress on here is pretty dang simple. So more than likely you're going to want to upgrade that or at least put a foam topper on top of that. And then we have our second entry door here coming into the bedroom space, giving you access to the bathroom while you are going down the road. Nice big sliding door going into this area. And just one AC on this travel trailer. So you have your AC ducted into this space. I can say in my travel trailer that's similar to this with one air conditioner, I do sleep with both these doors open because I have found when I close the doors and then have vents here that aren't able to be closed, it's just so hard to, what happens is the thermostat controls are usually somewhere in here. So like you can see your AC controls are right here. And this room has more airflow coming into it in general because you have multiple different AC vents. You also have the air conditioner unit itself. This room, if this gets down to like 70 degrees or 68 degrees, whatever the AC is set to, then the AC turns off. But just because it's 68 degrees in here, if you close these doors, does not mean that it is 68 degrees here in the bedroom. So a lot of times in my camper, what I found is if I sleep with the bedroom door closed, this room will be more of what feels like 75 to 80 degrees, even if it's, all the way down to 70 degrees in here. The times I have slept with my bedroom door closed and then I wake up and open the bedroom door, it literally feels like there's a 5 to 10 degree difference between how it feels in the bedroom and how it feels outside. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Do have a vent fan here over the kitchen space. That is nice. This is something my camper does not have. And because it does not have that, mine does have the vent fan up over the stove here that this doesn't have because of the microwave location. But I am always setting off my smoke detector, and I'm curious if this would be enough to get that smoke up out of here. Still might not be potentially. So you might want to cook meat and stuff like that outside, or you'll just have to keep turning the smoke detector off, which is what I do. As we step outside, both entry doors are those glass entry doors, and then again have shades on both the windows. Has a Tamarack tire and a standard leaf spring style suspension, so pretty simple setup there. And then it does have a fully enclosed underbelly down underneath here, so water tanks and water lines will stay warm when that furnace is on. Have a spray port here on the outside of the corner of the RV. Prep to add a backup camera, outdoor shower along the back, manual stabilizer jacks, and then a cable-driven slide mechanism here on your slide out. 30 amp travel trailer. Have a smaller spot here to store a sewer hose, so that'll fit about a 15-foot sewer hose in that storage space. Tankless water heater, and then prep to add a solar charge controller. So not gonna have any solar on the roof now, but you can order it with solar or add solar onto it if you would like. But keep in mind, for most people, solar is just keeping the batteries charged. And if you're only ever camping at campgrounds and campsites that have 30 amp connections, there's never really much of an issue with your batteries staying charged. Same thing when you're going down the road, being plugged into your vehicle will also send a bit of charge to the battery too. So not everybody actually needs solar that thinks that they need solar. So curious your thoughts on what you think about this travel trailer here. Price range on this is going to come in right at about $25,000 to $30,000. So definitely a very affordable travel trailer option. I know my Alliance Delta travel trailer, that's a similar floor plan to this. While I will say it's a bit bigger and has a little bit more to it, that camper there is like $35,000. So this is certainly a much cheaper version of the travel trailer that I have, and it's going to give a lot more affordable option to get into a fiberglass sided camper with that style floor plan layout, if this is what you like here. So curious your thoughts on what you think. Let me know down below in the comments. And then if you're looking for your next RV, there's a link down below in the pinned comment and description of this video where you can find a Blue Compass store close to you. And we're here to help when you're ready to start looking for your next RV. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, live firmly unbound.